Hi, welcome to iTech 136 Principles of Programming. So why use functions? Why do we use functions in a program? Well, we use functions to improve program readability. We use functions for code we use. For example, avoid writing redundant code. And most importantly, we use functions for modular program development. It is a process of dividing a program into separate modules or functions that can be developed and tested separately and then integrated into a single program. This makes the program easier to test the code. So if I ask you, how would you clean the house? Well, you can define the function, say clean the house. And in this hypothetical example, you can pass in the house object. And the clean the house To clean the house, you will clean all the bathroom. So I pass in all the bedroom list. I could clean the kitchen. Typically only one kitchen, so house dot kitchen. You clean all the bedroom. So I pass in all the bedroom list. And you clean the family room. So I pass in the house dot family room. So this will give you a what we call like an overview of the process of the like a house cleaning process. So this is kind of how you think. How do I clean the house? These are the steps I need to do. And then you will implement each step. For example, clean all bedroom. Given the bedroom list, you could have using a for loop for bedroom in bedroom list. Clean bedroom, I call another function to clean the bedroom. And this is a function decomposition. The skill of decomposing a program's behavior into a good set of functions is a fundamental part of programming that will help characterize a good programmer. I know everybody's starting out now, so we will just take a look at some example and follow the example. A lot of these examples are very naturally how you divide the work. So each function should have easy recognizable behavior and the behavior of the main program, and any function that calls other function should be easily understandable via the sequence of function calls. And let's also talk about incremental development. Programs are typically written using what we call incremental development, meaning a small amount of code is written and tested, then a small amount of a more or incremental amount is written and tested, and so on. You do not write everything and then try to test everything. You write little by little to make progress toward finishing the program. And to do so, programmers commonly introduce function stub, which are function definition whose statement hasn't been written yet. And the benefit of the function stub would be like at the high level, you can see the behavior of the program without diving into detail of each function. And this is very similar to what I show here. You can see the behavior of the program without diving into detail of the function yet. And capturing high-level behavior first may lead to better organized code, reduce development time, and even code with fewer bugs. So how do I do incremental development? So function stub simply doing nothing and return nothing may be acceptable early in the development of the larger program. And one approach, and you have seen me using that, you're using the pass keyword, which perform no operation except act as a placeholder for required statement. So pass is just like do nothing. It just makes the function that I shown before syntactically correct, like this here. Step to calorie. I don't know what to do yet, but I put a pass. This made the function syntactically correct, make Python happy at least, and then you can work on more other development. Another useful approach is to print a statement where the function stub is called and alerting user about missing the function statement. For example, you add like a fix me or to do and then return -1, and it's a good practice for a stub to return -1 for a function that will return a value. So this is either way you can help you can use to do the incremental development and stub the function. The process of breaking problem into smallest subproblem is called function decomposition. So you take a big task, break it down into successively smaller tasks. A very natural way to plan. Uh, and don't look at this as a program. Look at this how you do planning. You do in everyday life. You do a lot of planning, and apply the planning skill to the program also, and perform the smaller tasks and working your way up to the tree. So let's look at how the function decomposition work. So you can do two ways. One called bottom up. You write the function at the bottom level of the tree, working your way up, way back up. This is easier to test, and this is probably more common. Top down, you write a skeleton function at the top level first, and then stub function at the lower level. This is easy to discern the overall structure, but I like the bottom up implementation. So what that really mean? So let's do an example. Write a program that prompt user for a number of rows. The program output a left justified right triangle, make an asterisk with the number of rows. For example, if an input 6, given input 6, the program should generate the following left justified right triangle with 6 rows. So I want you to draw a right triangle tree that look like this. How would you do this? How would you approach this problem? Now, do not write print statement, 6 print statement to draw this, because I want able to draw any number of rows. I could draw 100 rows, I could draw 1 rows, or I could draw 0 row, which is no tree. And once you're able to do that, can you draw a down, right, left justified, right triangle, make an asterisk? How about center justified right triangle? Yes, these are right triangle with some shape. They may look simple. How would you approach that? So instead of start writing the program, take some time to think about how to approach the problem. The time you spend to think about how to approach the problem will save you time to debug the problem later, because you're going to have a probably better sound approach. And let's do some brainstorming. How to draw a right triangle that look like this? Asterisk, 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 and then 3 asterisks on the third line, and then 4 asterisks on the fourth line, and so forth. Well, do you notice that? How does the right triangle tree consist of? Well, it consists of series of lines with different length, and each line is an asterisk. So how do you draw a line? Well, you need a loop to draw a line. Why do I need a loop? Every time, if you need to do repeat some action, then you need a loop. If you look at this here, I repeat 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and 4 times. Every time you need to repeat some action like drawing number asterisk, you want to use a loop. Then how do you put the triangle tree together? Well, if you notice that the first row, the row 1 have 1 asterisk, row 2 have 2 asterisks, row 3 have 3 asterisks, row 4 and 4 asterisks. So I also need a loop to draw each line with proper length. Here's a design. Draw a right triangle, give a number of rows. So if I break it down into function, my main overall function, I want to draw a right triangle. But to draw a right triangle, I need to draw a line. And this is my plan to draw a right triangle. And these are the functions I'm planning to write. And you can see that this is what we call a top-down design. My high level is a draw right triangle. My low level is a draw line. And I plan by taking the big test of drawing a triangle and break it down into smaller tests. Draw a line. In order to draw a triangle, I need to know how to draw a line. And when I implement it, it's a bottom-up implementation. What that means is I will actually do this first. I actually do the draw line first before I do the draw right triangle. So let's do this. Write a function called draw line numchar that accepts one parameter, number of characters. It prints a line with numchar, a number asterisk. For example, if draw line 5 is called, then it will display 5 asterisk. Okay, let's do that in PyCharm. I will go to my exercise. Let me create a new file called triangle. And let's start with draw a line with numchar. These are the function requirement as you see here. These are just a function requirement. So I'm just following the function requirement. And I want to stop it off first. Let's put a pass here. And I want to test it by writing, for example, let's call draw line. I want to call the functions first. Let's draw a line with 5. And in this, all I'm doing here is I just check in, no syntax error. Yes, it doesn't do anything, but also there's no error. And then I can work on the function. As I said earlier, in order to draw a line, I need a loop. So I want to have a loop for num in range numchar. Using the range function with for loop to iterate numchar number of times. I want to print the asterisk. And I want to hold the line. So I need to set n equal to an empty string. Now if I run this triangle, you see 5. And if I do draw a line, say 4 or 3, since I just type in 3, and run this, you see, you actually see, maybe I should put a print here to separate them out. A line with 5 asterisks and a line with 3 asterisks. I draw a line. Okay, so how does this work with our triangle? Well, let's write a function called draw right triangles rows that accept number of rows as input. The draw right triangle function draws a right triangle tree with number of given rows. So for example, if I call draw right triangle 5 is called, the function display a triangle tree that look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 asterisk. The number asterisk in each row is same as the asterisk number. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Row number 1 have 1 asterisk, row number 2 have 2 asterisk, row number 3 have 3 asterisk, and so forth. So let's try that. And I'm done with this test, so I could, for example, let's comment out this. And let me write another one. Draw right triangle. And I want to able to draw triangle from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 being the number of rows. So I want to use a meaningful variable name like for row in range. Let's start with 1. And I want to end at the row number. Like if a row is 5, I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And with the range function, we remember you need to go one higher if you want to end at that number. So I want to say rows plus 1. So for this function, for this for loop, it will do 1. If the rows is 5, it will do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the rows variable. So I can, for example, I can say print row, just so you can see that. We can say draw right triangle, say 5. When I run this, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a row. So let's call, but we don't want to print the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We want to draw the asterisk. So we can draw the line and with number row. Let's run this and see what happened. What happened? All in one line. So I try to draw a right triangle with 5 rows, but I get one single line. Well, the draw line function doesn't give you the new line. So I want to draw a line and I want to add a new line. So let's try that. We are just testing the code. So now I see a right triangle. And I could, for example, change that to say 10. I can have a triangle with 10 rows. Or let's just change it to 1. I can have a triangle with 1 row, which is only 1 asterisk. The idea here is I can decompose the problem into function, and I can use the same function, the draw line function, to draw something like this. And in this case, this is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If I call draw down right triangle with 5, it's actually counting down, not counting up. I know how to draw a line. I know how to count up. Do you know how to count down? So I can actually create a draw down right triangle that will draw a, let's say, draw down right triangle with given number of rows. So if a row is 5, I want to do 5, 4, 5 asterisk, 4 asterisk, 3 asterisk, 2 asterisk, and 1. So I want to have a loop for rows, for row in range. And in this case, I want to go backward, go downward from rows to 0 and decrement each time. So this is another form of the range function. It will start at rows. Again, I can try out by say print row. And let me move this one inside here since I done with the testing. Draw down right triangle. Let's say 5. And you can see 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 being printed for the row number. Alright, that looked good. So let's draw the line with the row. And we learned earlier we need to add a new line. So let's try that. That looked pretty good. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5 asterisk, 4 asterisk, 3 asterisk, 2 asterisk, 1 asterisk. Do you see how using a simple draw line function, I can able to draw any triangle? Let's look at more. What other triangle I can draw? How about this? Center, draw center triangle with given number of rows. This one will look a little bit more difficult, but let's try to figure out how this row number works. So as you can see here, this is row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, and row 5. But how many asterisks are here? I have a 1 asterisk, I have a 3 asterisk, 5 asterisk, 7, and 9 asterisks. What are the relationship between these asterisks? Do you see any relationship between these asterisks? Well, let's do some brainstorming here. Let's do some brainstorming. So I want to draw right triangle row. I mean, draw a center triangle with a given number of rows. And in that triangle, there's some space. There is some spaces here. I'm not drawing that good here. Space, what I mean is, there's some space here. There's some space here. And then the asterisk. So I want to be able to draw a space and then draw the line afterward. And if I can draw those space, I can draw other triangle too. So let's try that. So I want to add a draw space function first because I already have a draw line function. So go back to let me add the draw space num spaces. And draw space is very similar to draw line, so I can use it as a guide for num in range num spaces print. In this case, I print a space and n equal to quote quote empty string, so to hold the line. And I can try to draw the center triangle. Center triangle with given number of rows. So again, how many spaces do I need here? Let's go up here so you can see for a moment. Row 1 has one space. Let me see. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 1. If this is a triangle with 5 rows, you can see there's 4 spaces and then 1 asterisk, 3 spaces and then 3 asterisk, 2 spaces and then 5 asterisk, 1 spaces and then 7 asterisk, and no spaces, 9 asterisk. Alright, so what is the relationship here between the number space and the row number? If you look at this closely, row 1, 4, row 2, 3, row 3, 2, 4 is 1. Isn't it 1 plus 4 spaces is 5, 2 plus 3 spaces is 5, 3 plus 2 spaces is 5, 4 plus 1 spaces is 5. So the number of spaces is how many row minus your row number. The number of spaces will be number of rows minus your row number. If I roll a 5, my row number is 1, 4 spaces. What about the asterisk? Do you notice this number here? 1, 3, 5, 7, 9? What kind of number are they? What are 1, 3, 5, 7, 9? And if I have a row 6, it will be 11 asterisk. What number are they? Well, they are odd number. So how do I get an odd number? So if this is an n, if the row number is like how do I get this 1, 3, 5, 7 based on the row number? If you look at this closely, 1 is 1, 2 is 3. If I multiply this by 2, like a 1 times 2, 2 times 2, 3 times 2, 4 times 2, and 5 times 2, 1 times 2 is 2, and 1. 2 times 2 is 4, this is 3. 3 times 2 is 6, this is 5. 4 times 2 is 8, and this is 7. 5 times 2 is 10, and this is 9. You can see that the number of asterisks is equal to 2 times the rows number minus 1. If the row number is 5, 2 times 5 is 10, 10 minus 1 gives you 9. And this is what you need to pay attention to when you do the programming. How the relationship or pattern work. So let's do the right triangle, center triangle here. So I can draw for row in, for example, range 1, 2, row plus 1, similar to what I did on the right triangle, from 1 to rows plus 1. I'm going to draw space. How many space? How many rows I have minus my current row number. And then I would draw the line afterward. And it's 2 times the row number minus 1 to give me the odd number. So I can test it. And I will move this one in here for now. And let's draw center. Let's do 5 here. And let's run that. Oops, what do I miss? Look like 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Ah, I missed the new line. So don't forget, add a new line. Now that looks pretty good. I can even try like, for example, 10, make a bigger triangle. That looks pretty good too. Or smaller triangle with a 2. Okay. Can you do more? Can you write a program to draw the following triangle? If you look at this triangle on the left, isn't it is the right triangle we have and the down right triangle we have? Likewise, this is the center triangle we have and a down center triangle. But if you look at this closely, if I say 4 as a rows, for this example, this will do 4 here, but this only needs 3 rows. This only got 3 rows, and this got 4 rows. Again, if this is a 4, but this only got 3 rows here. So let's do some brainstorming. Draw up, down, right triangle. I just make a name. Draw the up, down, right triangle. You can draw the right triangle with given number of rows. And then you can draw the down right triangle with 1 less row. Right? So I have a row, I could have 4 rows. And I'm sorry. And the 3 rows to make it look like this here. And of course, these will call the drawLine function. You can work on those 2 functions on your own. Try out. So why use function? I hope you see that code we use. We will use the drawLine function many times to draw different type of triangles. Easier to debug. Do you see that? I write drawLine function first. I make sure you work. Then I work on the draw right triangle. I make some mistake along the way, but I can test each function independently. So that will make it easier to debug, easier to test. And if you have many functions with clean lines of separation or teamwork, I could have a 10 function, a group of developers work on maybe 10 different functions, and another group of developers work on another 10 different functions, and you can put them together for the final product. So the working set for developer is smaller. Okay, thank you.